Hello everyone. In this video, let us discuss about bioactive restorative material. Another name for bioactive restorative material or hydraulic cement. Bioactive restorative material when placed in a phosphate solution will form apatite-like material, that is calcium phosphate. Composition of most bioactive restorative material will be calcium oxide, silicon dioxide and calcium aluminate. Most bioactive restorative material have calcium silicate hydrate phases. So, based upon the major composition, the bioactive restorative material is classified into calcium silicate and calcium aluminate. MTA, bioaggregate, biodentin are example of calcium silicate, while doxydent and ceramer are example of calcium aluminate. Bioactive restorative material have one property in common, that is its biocompatibility. MTA was introduced in the market based upon the Portland cement. It was introduced by Torabinachet et al. In 1993. So the composition of MTA is Portland plus bismuth oxide in 4:1 ratio. Bismuth oxide is added in order to enhance the radio opacity. When MTA is mixed with water, it forms Portlandite. Its compressive strength is around 80 MPa and its modulus of elasticity is around 15,000 MPa. According to Sarkar et al., when MTA was placed in the phosphate solution, it was able to form apatite-like material, but the ratio of calcium and phosphate differed from that of the hydroxyapatite. Initial set of the MTA is around 3 to 4 hours. Now MTA Angelus, the initial set time is around 8 to 11 minutes. We have two types of MTA, grey MTA and white MTA. It is grey because of the presence of iron. Grey MTA produced twice as much as hydroxyapatite crystals when compared to that of the white MTA in some studies, which leads to some speculation that grey MTA and white MTA may not possess the same level of bioactivity. According to Frinland et al., the MTA could maintain its high alkaline pH for about 72 hours, and this antimicrobial activity of this MTA is because of its alkaline pH. So nowadays research have been going on in order to combine this MTA along with the dentin bonding agent. The dentin bridge formed with the help of MTA is more homogeneous when compared to that formed by the calcium hydroxide, and studies claim that MTA can form uniform dentin bridge within 90 days. Next is bioaggregate. So bioaggregate cement, the composition is calcium silicate and calcium phosphate, and tantalum oxide is added in order to enhance the radio opacity. So here bismuth oxide is added, here tantalum oxide is used, that is a difference, and calcium phosphate is being added in the bioaggregate. So mechanical properties of bioaggregate was found to be less than that of the MTA. Ability to prevent micro leakage and antibacterial property of bioaggregate were similar to MTA. So whenever the bioaggregate was placed in contact with that of the tooth structure, a mineral infiltration zone was observed. Then I root SP and I root BP. In this composition, calcium phosphate is present. Okay. Here the nanohydroxyapatite are used in order to enhance the ease of penetration of the sealer into the dentinal tubules. So I root SP is a sealer and I root BP is a root repair material. And here it is used in the form of a nano in order to enhance the easier penetration into the dentinal tubules. The setting time of this cement is around 168 hours, which is higher than that of any bioactive restorative material. The next is biodentin. Biodentin, the chief composition is calcium silicate. Here, in order to accelerate the setting reaction, they have added calcium carbonate, and it is predominantly calcium silicate, and zirconium oxide is added for radio opacity. And here, in order to accelerate the reaction, they are also using calcium chloride. So here it is bismuth oxide, and here it is tantalum oxide. Here we are using zirconium oxide in biodentin. So the advantage is it has faster set than the MTA. The setting time is around 10 minutes, and the compressive strength is actually less when compared to the MTA. It is 67 MPa. So biodentin can enhance the production of TGF beta 1, and it helps in the conversion of OD21 cells into odontoblast, and also it helps in the formation of a reparative dentin formation, which is more homogeneous when compared to that of the calcium hydroxide. Next, let us see about the calcium aluminate cement, that is Doxydent. It can have aluminum oxide, calcium oxide, water, and zirconium oxide. The main thing which you should remember is the chief component is here you have calcium aluminate base, and that is the important thing. So when MTA is mixed with water, it forms portlandite. Similarly, when Doxydent is mixed with water, it forms catoite and gibbsite. The MPa, that is its compressive strength, this is compressive strength of Doxydent is around 180 MPa. So it is actually high. So Loof et al. Suggested the Doxydent could be used as a restorative material, but later studies have found that it has increased wear rate, and this is the Doxydent. So when Doxydent was placed enclosed with that of the enamel, an oxygen infiltration zone was observed in SEM and EDX studies. The next is Ceramer. Ceramer is a combination of a bioactive restorative material with GIC, that is calcium aluminate plus GIC forms Ceramer, and it can be used for permanent cementation purposes and cementations of onlay, and studies have shown that it's have decreased microbial leakage and dye leakage. So the setting reaction of all this bioactive restorative material is usually common. Dissolution of cement grain. And what happens when the cement grain is dissoluted? Then ionic concentration will increase. Then a saturation will occur, and finally the precipitation will form. So before to conclude, let me also discuss about the importance of bioactive restorative material. So this bioactive restorative material can be used as a direct pulp capping agent, and it can be used as a root end filling material, and it can be used for perforation repair, and it can also be used as sealer in resorption management, and etc. So bioactive restorative material are actually a boon to dentistry.